So, hey Youssef, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy, not too bad. How was your 2020 been? You've been a busy man.
It's definitely been busy, man. It's I can't complain. It's I after like February, I was like, I don't even know what's gonna go on, like what's gonna happen. And in March, that's when everything hit the fan type of deal. So I was like, oh my god, like I literally talked to my wife. I was like, what? At least I had a UFC fight, you know. So I was like, I had the UFC fight in January. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like at least we got that in for the year. So I gotta wait until maybe next year or something like that. And all of a sudden everything just changed. Everything started just happening right away, and it was just crazy to see all that happen so quick. So, and like I said, man, I can't complain, man. It's a blessing in the sky to for the UFC to have the athletes still fighting and stuff like that. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think it was. I think you had four fights in the space of just over 8 months. So it was like a good year for you.
Yeah, I was like, I told a lot of guys, it's like I like to fight. I like to fight a lot of times. So it's like I really don't like camps. I like short notices. So that's what I go from there.
Yeah, yeah. I know Mark's got you working all the time in there because he don't accept no slouches in that gym.
Oh yeah, Mark had nonstop having us working at all times.
Of course, and that's good mentality for him to put towards all his fighters as well. And when I spoke to Mark myself, he sort of gave me the rundown of what it is to be accepted in that gym. You've got to go through a trial phase to actually get into the gym.
Yeah, it's like you having all these teammates. You're like, oh, anybody can get a call or anybody can get a fight we want to jump on and stuff like that. So it's like for us as a team, it's kind of like great motivation for each other. So it's like the guys that I train with, they want to be where I'm at. So in the position that I'm at, so it forces them to like really push you in training, because they want to take your spot. So if you're for your spot will be gone.
Yeah, definitely. And your last fight was against Alia Tapori, and you actually took that fight on late notice because he took the fight on late notice, but it was a late notice switch for you of opponent on 10 days, I think it was. And it was a tough fight for you because obviously you didn't really know what you was getting into so much. You trained for a different opponent. So like, what did you make of that fight?
So that fight it was completely shocking to me. I was like, I go from a complete kickboxer to a wrestler. My whole eight weeks of camp, all I worked on was ground. So how to take the fight to the ground, how to really finish in the ground. Yeah, we worked striking, obviously, but it was mainly focused on the ground. So then when I told me I'm fighting a ground guy, so I was like, it literally completely changed everything. So like, I'm not very happy with my performance, but it was an okay performance. It's not a whole lot. I should have done a lot of things differently, but obviously that's every fight for me. I was like, I feel like I should have done a lot of things differently every goddamn fight, but it all changes. But like I said, man, I grew a lot from that fight, and that's what I took out of it. That's what my coaches and everybody says. Just take what's the best thing out of it. And it was growth and experience than anything. That guy just went in and murdered I can't remember his name, Jackson or something
Yeah,
like that.
Damon Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, so for me, and I was like, like you're not doing that to me, like, that's not happening. It's gonna take a lot to take me out. So for me, that was kind of like a little confidence, but it's a little more of growth. I'm definitely not happy with that. I wanted that one back. That's what I wanted. I want that one back.
Definitely, I can see that matchup in the future as well because you're 24, he's 23, so it's like you're only a year apart, and you've got a lot of time left in the fight game. And obviously, going into that fight, like you said, you weren't really sure. Like you had to switch of opponent, and what I could take from that fight is you've got outstanding submission defense, and you don't want to give. You're never going to give up.
Yeah, man, that fight is weird. Like I like even in practice, I go in practice and I'm like, yeah, I'm not like it's gonna be hard to tap me. It's like, yeah, obviously I'm not gonna go out. A lot of guys think I'm gonna go out. Look, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna go all the way out. No, I'll tap. If anything happens, I'll tap. But it's gonna take a long time for me than a normal person. So for me, it's like in my head, I was like, I'm not tapping. There's no way in hell I'm tapping. That's all I kept thinking in my head in that first round. I'm not tapping.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said a minute ago, he went out there and beat someone else as well. And you're actually the only person that's ever taken him to decision. So that's something to take from that fight.
Yeah, I'll be the first guy to finish him. So
yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing that fight again. And obviously, for me, one of the standout moments from your year, from 2020, was the spinning back kick against Peter Barrett. Like that, when I was watching it, I saw you do that, and I think it was 20 seconds in or something like that. And I thought the fight was over because he just literally went straight down. You rushed in on him. I think if you was even just a split second sooner to get to him, you would have had the fight over.
Yeah, that was I was like, I tell everybody, I was going through so much emotion in that fight. When I landed it, I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be my first UFC finish, blah blah. And I was like, it took like, I don't know if you've seen it in the camera. I was like, oh damn, he's actually down. Let's go. And I just rushed. And I was like, that was, like you said, if I was a second behind a little bit, I would have probably got the finish. But man, it was a fun fight, man. He was a fun dude to fight, and it was a pretty fun fight, man. I was pretty excited about that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously the commentators were saying like you were a bit frustrated that you hadn't got a finish in the UFC yet and stuff like this, and that was like I said, a millisecond away from getting that finish. And what a spinning back kick to open the fight, basically.
Yeah, man, it was just close. It was close. I was almost there.
Yeah, it really was. And obviously, I want to get into like how you got into MMA a bit. So like, because obviously you're from Morocco. And I don't think the MMA scene is actually that big over there.
No, I didn't start MMA until I came to the US. In Morocco, all I did was kickboxing. They had kickboxing when I was 10 years old. I had my first fight when I was 10 years old. But I moved in here when I was 13 years old. And then I didn't start MMA until I was like 16. So I did my first class of jiu-jitsu. And then started doing jiu-jitsu a little bit. And then I went in started fighting Muay Thai and kickboxing in the United States when I was 16 all the way to 18. I couldn't do MMA until I was 18 years old.
Okay, yeah. And what was it that got you into doing kickboxing?
Just my mom and my family, and back in home, like she was like, you're not gonna hang out with the bad friends and all that stuff. So you're gonna go straight from school straight to kickboxing and come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a good idea. And obviously you're only 24 as well, so you're still a long way from your prime. And obviously starting at a young age is always handy. So you've got the experience from a young age, and you've still got all this time yet to grow.
Yeah, man, it's all for, it's the team that's around me, those guys, and like the fights are all I had. It's not, it hasn't been like nothing like, just easy fight. So that's what pushed it a lot and kind of made it a lot better experience for me and my team, So that's what I really kind of got out of my whole years of training and like kind of fighting in the US.
Mm-hmm. And what was your actual reason for moving to the US?
My dad was down here, him and my older brother, and I just came visit them. And then my mom was like, "You're staying here," and I was like, "Okay, awesome." So I just stayed there, and she thought it was a better future for me, and I just what I did.
Yeah. And then into your nickname a bit. Obviously, we know where the Moroccan part comes from. But what about the devil part?
So I don't know if you know Badr Hari.
I don't know.
He's a Moroccan kickboxer. He's a heavyweight. Badr
Hari.
Okay,
yeah.
So he has like a bunch of names. He had the Golden Boy, Moroccan Devil, and my old coach, after my first Muay Thai fight / kickboxing fight, started calling me the Moroccan Devil. And then I was like, oh, damn, that's awesome. And I just started liking it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. And then literally just moved on from there. And it stayed there with me for since then, since I was 15 years old.
Yeah, I like that name. It's definitely a good name. And obviously you're at FactoryX now. And how do you find it there? Did you know that was a gym for you as soon as you sort of got there and spent a bit of time there?
Yeah, man. I was like, my old coach recommended it to me, so I give him a lot of credit. That me and the old coach, like, we understand each other, and he's still one of my best friends, like one of my best people I know. He's like one of the best mentors I know I had. For me, all these guys, all the coaches, even the coaches right now that I have, they teach you about life and fighting. It's like fighting is like whatever. They come in here and do your job. This is the job that I have, but beside that, like they really show you around and kind of teach you what life is, and like especially as a young kid, you don't want to be doing dumb stuff, and I'm grateful to have that many people around me and that many of the mentors around me.
Yeah, of course. And how long have you been there?
I think 6 years.
Yeah, quite a long time. And you've obviously the way that Mark runs FactoryX, you've got a family unit basically. Like no one's sort of just off in the corner by themselves, or you do stuff together as well. You go out for meals and all this stuff. And I think that's like one of the biggest things to do with a team. Like most people, like the bigger gyms might have like their team, but they don't really have a team. Do you know what I mean? They have their separate ways of doing things, but your gym is actually a team. And I really like the way that that's set out.
I think that's what the biggest things of our head coach Mark Montoya did. He's the leader of this whole thing. Of this whole ship. So him to kind of put that culture that we have, it's literally completely different than any culture I've seen in any gym. So it's kind of cool and different. You're not used to that stuff. You're like, oh, you're the top dog. You don't need to be hanging out with this. No, man. It's like I'm hanging out with Anthony Smith and James Krause and eating with them and talking like it's nothing. So these guys are like culture and stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah. And how much like of your success do you like attribute to them sort of people, that like Mark and like other people that you get close relationships with?
Oh man, everything. These guys are been behind me since they believed something in me. Like I didn't believe until I was 21. So these guys are believing in me when I was 16, 17. They're like, oh, you can go somewhere. So for me to kind of see that come to reality, and still got more to go, and like years and years ahead of us. So it's kind of like it's awesome to just fulfill that dream. You're like, oh my God, like this is an actual dream that I was just half-assing. I was fully committed to it until a couple of years ago, and it really paid off. To kind of just be like, hey man, I have all these people around me believe in me and kind of show me the way it is and all that. So like, it's all up to me now, and that was the biggest decision.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, one of the people that you've actually spent quite a lot of your fighting career fighting with on the shows and stuff is Brandon Moreno. Like you actually fought on a lot of LFA cards together, and you've had a lot of like standout performances on the same night as Moreno as well. How close is your sort of friendship with Brandon?
Oh man, Brandon is cool. He's like definitely a different guy. But like I said, he's just so in love with this sport that like it's kind of cool to hang out with. It's like you want to hang out with that guy. That's how I feel like. He's an awesome personality, man. He's kind of just he just doesn't care, man. He's just like, this is his life. Like this is what he wants to do, and this is what he wants to enjoy doing. So for us to see that and really fight together and kind of like train together, have fun together, eat together, and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool to have that friend. That friend that really enjoys the sport. I feel like more than me, and I'm trying to get that from him. So it's kind of like we're like kind of the same way. It's like, oh, I want to be that guy. That's pretty cool to see. You don't see that a lot. You walk into a gym, you're like, oh, I'm better than everybody in here. I don't need to. Nah, not in this gym. I was like, I got so many guys better than me and way ahead of me. Like I want to be that. I want to be that guy. I want to do what he did. I want to be ranked in here. I want to do this and that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And Brandon's obviously had one hell of a year as well. Unfortunately, in his last fight, he didn't really go his way, but that wasn't really due to the fight as much. But do you spar or train with Brandon much, or?
Oh yeah. Every time we train, we train together every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what is it like sparring with him?
Oh God, it's intense. He does not stop.
I can imagine.
I'll give you one thing: he does not stop. In the ground, he does not stop. No matter what it is, he does not stop.
Yeah, that's definitely a good asset to have him as a training partner, because from what you see in fights, he is, like you say, he's non-stop. He's always attacking, always looking for something to do.
Oh yeah, that kid, mark my words, he'll be a world champion in either 2021 or literally earliest 2022. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him come back. And obviously, you're in the featherweight division. And what do you sort of think of the state of the division at the minute? Because obviously you've got Alex Volkanovski as a champion. We're looking at Brian Ortega as the next challenger. But how long do you reckon it's going to take you to get to that sort of championship level?
I don't know, man. I don't like predicting that thing. You know, like be like, oh yeah, I'll be this, I'll be a champion. Yeah, and that's what it is, man. It's like for me, it's like I just want to be the best improved guy out of my weight class in every fight. You know, you want to see me every fight, be like, oh God, like that's Youssef right there. Like, man, he's completely different than his last fight, or he's just an awesome dude to watch. He's just like so much technical stuff. For me, it's like it really matters, man. Like you said, the featherweight division is so intense and so stacked. It's like it's not easy to get to the top. Like you gotta go through some top dogs to get to what you need to. So I'm just excited for the journey and the experience, man. That's all I care about, you know. Without it, I won't be here. You know, the journey is the most important part.
Yeah, you've definitely got to enjoy the process more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when do you reckon you're going to be fighting again next?
I don't know. Probably February, March, maybe.
Yeah, that's the aim.
I hope.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you back in there anyway.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Anyway, that's all the questions I've got for you for now.
No, I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, mate.
Of course, anytime.
I look forward to seeing you again in the octagon, and I can't wait to see you, your team, and everything, all the successes that you're going to have in the years to come.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.